Hello, world, and welcome to another D&D Beyond Dev Update. I'm Joe Starr. I'm your host. I'm joined by our community manager, Mellie Doucette. Hey, Mellie, how you doing? Looking sharp. I dig it.
Weird shirt that has two halves.
I dig it. Yeah, there is like a very kindly Harvey Dent vibe going, and I appreciate it very much, Mellie.
You say that, but you don't know what's happening on this side.
I don't know what's going on. Which is which is good, which is bad. Hey, if you're new, if this is your first stream with us, if this is your first video with us, if you're watching from the future on YouTube, welcome to D&D Beyond. We're a digital tool set. To make a long story short, we're a digital tool set that makes playing D&D super, super easy. I might be biased because D&D Beyond also writes my checks, but I honestly think this is the easiest way to get into the hobby and just start playing. So if it's ever felt overwhelming to you, boom, here we come. Here we are. This show's our dev update, where we chat with you guys about what's new with the product and connect with you guys about what you want to see. We try to get in special guest devs and stuff just to kind of give you guys some philosophy and some insight into what we're doing and why, and introduce all our cool new playthings to you guys. That's the show. Let's jump into it. Today, we got a couple of things going. We're going to cover our timeline. Then we're going to demo Hoverlinks in the Compendium, which I'm super stoked about. And then, of course, finally, save and resume combat in the combat tracker, which I am super stoked about. And then the devs are working on something. And that's as much as I'm going to say. And they needed the morning because they're working on
to say
something.
If we want to keep our jobs.
Yes, the fandom laser is pointed at us. So today's Q&A is just going to be me and Mellie chatting with you guys. I don't know what Mellie and Joe related questions you might have, but feel free to ask them and we will jump into them. But before we get to that, let's get into our roadmap a little bit. Shall we, Mellie Doucette?
Let's do it.
All right. And as always, if you've got a question in chat, type question before your question, and we will get to it. So I'll take this first little bit, Mellie. We got 3 books available for pre-order right now. Trace, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the 5th edition's first official venture into the Feywild. Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos, which is all about the messiness of going to a magical school, which I'm super stoked about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we've been checking a lot with writers from Dragonlance on how to pronounce, because I've always said Fizban. Fizban.
Yes.
It's like whiz-bang.
Our local Kiwi who worked on Dragonlance, we thought, he's going to say it Fizban because that's the accent. He's like, no, it's Fizban. And if he says it that way, then I feel like that must be correct. So I say Fizban
That's right.
from now on.
That is the word from someone who has seen Weiss and Hickman in person. So Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, also available for pre-order. And that book's a Treasury of Dragons. Sorry, I don't know how to... That was dumb and smug sounding. I apologize. It's a big-ass book of dragon stuff, and I'm super stoked about it. All 3 of those books are available for pre-order right now. Yes, Mellie.
This is called Dungeons and Dragons, right? So we've had lots of dungeons in lots of different games, and dragons. We need more dragons, and this is what's going to give it to you. So if you've been wondering why the game is called that, there you go. This is why.
It was time. It was time, really. The next year they'll be announcing a book that just focuses on the and I'm also super stoked about that one.
Can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Finally unlock the mystery of the ampersand.
Yes. What did Bahamut mean when he created the ampersand? All right, enough jokes. Sometimes I don't like it when we get too off track and too jokey, Mellie. But just a reminder. All 3 of these books on sale for pre-order, and subscribers to D&D Beyond are actually able to share their purchased books with their table with their friends. So, if you're a DM and your players want access to the new subclasses and stuff like that are going to be in Fizzbands, pick up the book, and once it's out, they will have access to all that so that they can have like a much cooler like character creation experience, all that good stuff. It's the new digital version of you having to drag a giant backpack full of books to your friend's house.
They can all access it at the same time instead of like, here's my one book, pass it around the table, don't hold on to it for too long because we all gotta make a character today, so get the to everybody. So very handy, exactly, if you ask me. And I think with you've got up to 5 campaigns you can share with, and there can be up to 12 different people in each, so you can have up to 60 people sharing your books at the same time, which is a lot.
Ridiculous. That's a lot of people in your basement gathered around your backpack.
I don't have that many friends.
I don't. But you know what? I have 3 friends, Mellie, Amy, and Michael over here at D&D Beyond, and we played House of Lament a couple weeks ago on Twitch, and we're running it on YouTube and doing watch-alongs in chat with you guys. We took last week off for D&D Live, but this week we will be actually showing the finale, right, of House of Lament. If you want to spend some time catching up, we have a playlist available on the YouTube channel. We'll maybe, if the mods aren't irritated with me today, dredge up a link to that YouTube playlist and drop it into chat. They're irritated with me a lot. I asked them to do a lot of stupid things, and I apologize, guys, from the bottom of my heart. But they're quick episodes. They're about an hour and a half max, and it's 4 before we watch the finale tomorrow night. So I'm super stoked. That brings us through the books and shows portion of this. I'm going to hand the important things over to Mellie. Mellie, what's coming next week?
To me, so coming up, and next week is what is on the docket is our kind of phase 1 of some inventory management. So this is going to be like we've had folks on to describe in the past. We're going to try to do some iterative development, so you're going to get one phase of inventory management, and it's going to get built on. So when you first get it, it's not going to have all the bells and whistles we've been talking about. It's going to have the ability for you to have containers and to put things in those containers, to rename them whatever you want to rename them. It's going to be really, really cool. So if you've been like me and you have a bag of holding and you've been trying to sort it, and you've also got a tower, and you've also got a chest somewhere, and also there's a portable hole that somebody has, who in your party has it, we don't know. All of those things are going to be a lot more easy to manage very, very soon. So very excited about that. And we also have a couple things that like we're ready to show off a bit here.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of demo. Before we jump into demoing, I also forgot, and please excuse me. So we'll be talking about inventory sharing more next week. We'll have somebody on to do a little Q&A, a little showing off for that as that feature starts to roll out. And then I did forget, we also have a Jasper's Game Day stream this Saturday. Jason Azevedo is going to be DMing that one. We have some really cool guests coming on. Malika Lim from Hyper RPG will be joining us. It's Daniel Kwan will be joining us. So that one's going to be a super, super fun stream. Wanted to make sure I shouted that one out. That one's going to be Saturday night. And now I promise, Mellie, I am done. I'm done feature blocking you. Please take the wheel.
Excellent. Yeah, so we released this last week. We didn't have a dev update, though, so we couldn't give it the shout out that it deserved. So our digital content team worked really, really hard to do a quality of life update on all of our compendiums. There's a few things. There's one thing that impacted the table of contents and how those would display and link, and another thing of how easy it is for you to bookmark certain areas or share links to certain areas of a compendium that you want to direct people to. So this update adds, I've got a screen share here, just hopping into this book. Anytime you hover over a header, once you're kind of in here, not in the, hang on, I gotta reload the page. Give me 1 second. I loaded this an hour ago. My computer wasn't ready for this. Here we go. So we're gonna start going through, and you'll see this little link is gonna appear here. This is gonna bring you directly to that header, so you can then grab that link and you'll be able to share that out with anybody who needs it. You can bookmark it directly. So boom, I can make the best quality bookmarks for myself, especially when I'm running an adventure and I need to know where I left off, or maybe I want to just create a little index for myself in my bookmarks of things that I need to get to really quickly. It's going to be super handy. So this is an awesome update. The team put it out so quickly. They worked really hard for a couple days to just get it onto all the compendiums live, and they did a great job. So it's a great little quality of life update. Shout out to Elliot Spilk, Faith Lilly, Jay Johnny, and Adam Walton who worked on that. That's super great. And we're also going to do another
it's pretty
demo.
cool, and they really did crank that out fast, because it seemed like they pinged us and they were like, right now it's being tested on the Grung
Basic
book,
rules
maybe.
In the Grung book first. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this is just a test, something we're kicking around. And then I feel like 20 minutes later, they were like, we're done. So yeah, they nailed this. They really knocked this out of the park.
They were like, this will be ready next week. And then a day later, they were like, it's ready. It's like, oh, okay, amazing. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are
really dig this one. Yeah, not like just like an earth-shattering, but it's just like a really good quality of life update that I really think just like cranks the ease of use of the compendium up to 11. So really super stoked about this.
Yeah, it really changes the experience there in the best way possible. So super great. And we also have a little demo here.
Speaking of saving where you are.
Yeah, something coming very soon, which is, we've been talking about it for the last few weeks, and it's been in progress, which is saving and resuming your combats in the combat tracker. And a reminder that the combat tracker is in alpha right now, so it's available to subscribers of either the hero or master tier. That's early access. But hey, if you are a subscriber, you're going to be seeing this update coming in, not too many days from now. So we've got here
our policy of not saying dates gets harder the closer we get to the release.
It does, yeah. It's like, I can't tell you exactly when, but it sure is in a span of time that can be measured in
soon
days.
Enough that we're doing it today.
Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop into, I built a little encounter here using our House of Lament group. Oop, I should hop that way. Just let me go to my... Yeah, so I'm going to go to my encounters, and I'm going to get to that encounter. Give me 1 second here. Joe, can you give me a little bit of vamp?
Yeah, oh man, I can totally vamp. Again, hey guys, it's Joe Starr from D&D Beyond. And I honestly think that playing D&D is going to improve your life a lot. Everyone should play it, whether you are a weird miniature collecting nerd like me that's obsessed with Transformers, or if you're like a mom that does a paint and wine group with her friends and wants to do something different for the week. I really think playing this game will make your life better. And if the game looks very overwhelming to you, like it does for me, who's terrible at math and not great at approaching large, intimidating books, D&D Beyond makes it very easy to play the game.
Yeah.
Mellie, how you doing?
And making it even easier is saving and resuming combat. So I set up this combat. I even started to run it. And now I'm hopping back in here. I went to my encounters, found my deadly dev update, and you'll see resume encounter. Oh, probably means I had something going on in here before. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It's going to load in here. And you're going to see that I currently have this combat. You can see it's partially in progress. We got monsters that have lost some HP here. We are on round 3, turn 3. And this is what you get to start with. You're going to have this information in here. There's a few other things you'll be able to do, but it's going to automatically save as you progress through your encounter. You'll be able to see sort of in the top here, it's going to tell you when it last saved, so you don't have to just worry constantly. But if you're like me and you don't trust technology because it has done you wrong too many times, you can also click the manual save button over here, and you can press it like 8 times. That's fine. I'm just going to click that a few times over there just to really make myself certain that I've done that correctly. So that's going to let you stop combat right in the middle. Hey, I want to have a cool cliffhanger moment. Hey, we ran out of time. We need to stop. Or, something else happened.
I just accidentally closed my tabs.
Yeah. Oh, I closed my tab. Like, or, oh no, I clicked refresh on it. And, oh no, what's everybody's initiative? What did everybody roll? What were the monster's hit points at? Because I no longer have it. Well, thankfully, you will still be able to have it. And there it is. I just refreshed. It's still on that same term of that swarm of insects, turn 5 of round 3. It's still there. Thank goodness, because I did not remember that the Relentless Slasher had 41 hit points left. There's a few other things, too, that have been implemented in this, which is you're going to be able to change the initiative of the people participating in a combat. So, if somebody wants to hold their turn, that's maybe not an official rule, but it's a variant rule a lot of people use. Maybe, hey, Eli here, or Rip here wants to wait until after Jacqueline goes. I could just type in a new initiative, say, okay, we're going to go to initiative 9. I can also just scroll with my mouse wheel and scroll that down to wherever I want. So there's a couple ways to do that. Boop, Rip has now moved down there. You can also do some manual entry. So maybe there's some layer actions that I want to include in here. On initiative 30, there's one of it. And I can go ahead and I can add that in as well. And I can have this extra thing. And again, I can move it. If this layer action changes to another time, I can move that as well. I can add more as I go. So you can really do a lot of adjustments in that way. So, hey, saving and resuming things. It's thank you. My goodness, my anxiety will finally be able to let me use this without fear. So I'm really excited. I hope that you will all enjoy this when it comes out. They're just working on some last things, last testing, making sure everything is working really, really well before they share it with you all. But it's gonna be pretty great.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that official launch. It's coming. We'll be talking about something different by this time next week.
Yeah.
Is that good? I'm so bad at our not times.
That's how excited you should be. Is like, we had this compendium update. We got this coming. We've already talked a little bit about some inventory stuff coming, and there's other stuff. Like, there's a lot going on, folks. There's a lot to be excited about. And there's 3 books. Yeah, no, 3 books, $3.
And there's 3 friggin' books that you can share with folks. No, props to the whole team behind the combat tracker. I honestly, really specifically love this tool. And look, I know I get shilly on this show, and of course I love it because it's my job to love it. But I went out of my way to get this job because I legitimately love this thing, and I love what we do with it. I chased it. I chased it hard. So that said, I mean, some pretty cool updates today to go over with you guys. Super stoked to share those with you. Let's shift over a little bit. It strikes me, Mellie, that perhaps we are strangers to many of these people. I know that when I first Kool-Aid manned through a wall and forced myself upon the audience, I think my intro was mostly Adam and I getting sidetracked and talking about a restaurant we went to one time. So it strikes me that people might still be a little like, I don't know who this clown is. And I think people would love to know and deserve to know, not deserve, but as much Mellie flexing as Mellie feels like doing. I think you're a key integral part of this team, and you deserve some stage. So let's see what questions folks might have
and we also
for these 2 jokers.
Yeah, we also have just some questions that I know that we'll be able to answer as well. So I'll put those in as much as I can too, since I know you all would love to get some questions answered about the tool. Sure. So really quickly, I'm just going to jump into Monica_13. Will all 3 of the new books that are in pre-order come with something special?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
sorry.
Definitely, we love doing pre-order bonuses.
Said more.
Just a thumbs up for you. But yeah, like there's always going to be stuff. So dice, for sure, there's going to be digital dice set for each of those. There's also going to be the usual, backdrops, frames, themes. So definitely we reveal those like closer to when those come out. But it's going to be pretty exciting. Let's see. What else do we have here that I know?
Because the Witchlight launch is in soon, September. So those pre-order perks will get revealed pretty soon. And speaking of perks, I totally skipped it on the timeline. July perks are out there. And running through the end of the month. So those include a new set of backdrops. Sorry, I apologize. I'm a doof, and I forgot to mention this. So it includes a new set of backdrops. They're really pretty, and they also we are continuing to offer those the Sanguine digital dice, which are gross and squishy and fun as a part of that. Since we rolled those out so late in June. So we've sort of extended those through the end of the month. I am so sorry for killing our Q&A momentum. I just wanted to make sure I got
okay.
that in there.
I mean,
That's
it's
available
also worth
for subscribers
mentioning
in July.
it's also worth mentioning that, hey, next month we got a first look at what the perks are going to be for next month, and they are very cool. So I'm very excited about that. But hey, Aaron Lore wants to know why you were failing to introduce your cat, who was keeping an eye on us and making sure that we weren't spilling any beans we weren't supposed to, because the chat is asking about the cat.
Oh, have I not introduced? Come here, jerk. This is Sarah. She's my Horcrux. She's 14. She has no teeth, and she really likes streaming. She really likes closing out tabs. I don't know how she does it, so right now I'm nervous because she has full access to my keyboard. But yeah, no, she's great. She's the Screen Junkies audience, where I came from, knows her pretty well because she was on almost every morning show. She has no idea that she has a fandom or a following, and I'm genuinely jealous of. Oh, now I'm talking about you, and you're not staying in frame at all. Yeah,
it's
I'm
okay,
a weird
because
cat
we got
person.
the purr. I can hear it.
Look at her stupid face. I love her.
That is
so yeah, that's Sarah.
quality
No age.
content right here. Sarah, no age. And to do a question about the tool Inside Jokester as how many containers will we be able to have? And the answer for that is many. Very many. So again, if you're like me, I got an artificer with a bag of holding, a portable hole, a tower, a fortress, chests in different cities, a P.O. box, there's a lot of things I'll be able to put in different places. I think people will be pretty happy with their ability to sort their inventory. It's going to be pretty exciting. And it's going to be great for people like me. I'm going to have a whole day.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the amount of infrastructure it seems like you have in your D&D game. Like, I want a session where we just set up PO boxes. My DM has not provided that window.
I've gotten a little extra sometimes with like things with this DM. They are just wonderful and allowing me to be just really goofy and silly with the character, which is my favorite. But then we also have very dramatic and horrible things, which is also very fun. So gotta get that balance.
Which you find out about via your PO box. I love it.
Yes, via my PO box. We got Laurier Me Joe. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. Hey, what do we know about the rabbit folk ancestry? So we had that UA. I think we kind of know it's been revealed. And Joe, I know you love rabbit folk. Do you want to talk a little bit about where and when people might see this?
Yeah, so they are. I believe the official term for the race is Harengon. Am I correct there? So they are officially a new race in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So I am super stoked about that. They are officially heading our way. Super pumped to make my rabbit monk and my rabbit cleric. I like me a rabbit. They're just cool. I don't know why I like animated rabbits so much, but they always tend to be my favorite characters. Usagi Ojimbo. I just blanked on the lead in Zootopia, but Judy Hopps, she's cool too.
Oh yeah, Judy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like Judy, and you can play your D&D version of Judy Hopps by creating a simple town guard fighter, and
or hey,
super stoked about the
Paladin Oath of the Watchers could be a good one as well. There's lots of ways to make your favorite animated bunnies into characters. I feel like Lola Bunny could be a good monk. Some cool options.
Definitely. Very cool options. Hey, look, the Ninja Turtles got their due. It was time. Stupid turtles.
It was. We got turtles. We got rabbits, we got lizards, we got so many animal folk. You can have a whole party of delightful animal folk just doing their thing. We got Drizzt Do Nothing, new subscriber to the D&D Beyond app. Thanks for subscribing. Got the Sanguine Dice. Do all the monthly dice and other perks stay with you as long as you are a subscriber, or do they disappear after? So as long as you maintain your subscription, you will continue to receive the new monthly perks, and you will keep all the perks that you've unlocked. And then if you stop subscribing, you will lose access to those perks, but if you resubscribe, you will get back all the perks that you had. So if you've got the June perks for the Sanguine Dice, you got the 5 backdrops for July, and you don't subscribe for August, you won't have access to those dice or those backdrops in August, but if you start again in September, you will get your dice and backdrops back. So that's how that works.
Right.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So yeah, they're monthly as in they drop monthly, not as in like they last for a month and then expire.
Yes, that would be very sad. It'd be like, here's cool squishy dice, and now let's take them back. You no longer get to roll with these ones. So not like that, no. Let's see here. We got a few questions actually asking. I'm gonna just pull one from Aaron Lore here. Hey, we got an anniversary coming up in August, which is pretty exciting. Do you want to talk anything about, if there's, obviously there's gonna be some stuff happening in August. Is there anything we can share about anything exciting?
I could talk kind of real broadly about our anniversary. Our 4th anniversary is coming at the end of August, which we're super excited about. Sort of trying to turn it into a bit of an event. So we're going to be showing off some cool features. We're going to have some really cool guests coming in to help us celebrate. So yeah, a couple. Sorry, Mellie, I don't want to get into your lane. Maybe there's maybe a contest happening, some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll be coming to you guys with some more details soon. But I think it's going to be a really, really fun week, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot for us to celebrate because again, 4 years, that's pretty awesome. And also, I feel like it's so weird because I always think about D&D Beyond having been here for so long, and whenever I remember that it's like, oh, it's been 4 years, I'm like, really? Just 4 years? Because it's like, wow. So I'm very excited for us to get to celebrate that and to see all the cool things that the team has planned for that time. And yes, there will be a contest of a kind. I'm really, really excited about that. There's gonna be more information about that coming pretty soon, actually, because we gotta start getting that moving. But lots of amazing things there. I'm very, very much looking forward to all of that. Let's see what else we have. We have a few people asking because, in what I showed for our demo for the combat tracker, you can see that I have some character data that got pulled into that. That is still kind of a work in progress. There's a lot of things that go into that on the dev side. I'm not a dev. I won't really speak to that, but there is sort of the massive amount of data that's on those sheets needing to get pulled in without it taking like forever and also not breaking anything. There's work still going into that, but it is still planned. It's still in the works. So continue to be hype about the future for that. Are we getting questions for us specifically? So again, people are asking again about the perks for the pre-orders. Again, yes, those are definitely going to be coming. Gothic Medic is asking about how there's only a few default character sheet backdrops. Do most backdrops come from subscribing or pre-orders?
Yes, a pretty good amount of them do. I know we have, our basics up, the basic classes and stuff like that. But, most of our, especially, our book cover and book image themed backdrops are typically pre-order perks. And then, these new waves that we've been doing with for subscribers, are pretty much subscriber only. The villain. What did we call this last bundle? Sort of the villain themed bundle. I'm not sure if it's had like a specific name or not.
No,
but,
I think it was like just the classic books. I think because it's the five. Yeah, five of the first books that came out for D&D 5th edition are the ones that we pulled for these backdrops because we didn't have D&D Beyond didn't exist when they came out, so we didn't have any backdrops for those books.
Yeah, so those are mostly pre-order rewards and subscriber perks. Yes.
Yeah. Daisy GM, hey, we know that guy. What book of the upcoming 3 are we most excited about? Joe, what's the one you're most hyped
Oh,
for?
it's a good question. So I'm gonna cop out by saying things that I'm excited for about each of them, so that I can buy some time to then give you an overall conclusion, right? Um, for Witchlight, I'm really interested in sort of the non-combat angles. They've really stressed that yes, you'll be able to handle these adventures from a from a fighty point of view. But then also you'll be able to walk through them entirely with non-combat options. And I feel like with the Feywild, this weird Lewis Carroll like slash labyrinth, realm full of tricksters and deals gone bad and sly contracts and stuff like that. Um, I just think that trying to survive a quest, purely through riddles in the dark is super interesting. So I'm very excited about that. That's one. Strixhaven. I'm also I'm pumped about the idea of the magical school in general. I'm also excited to get into the lore of magic a little bit. I'm not a math boy, and so magic has always been very intimidating for me to approach and play. My closest experience to it was when I was a summer camp. I was like a camp counselor for a while, like a day camp counselor. That was actually my first job when I moved to the West. When I moved to the West, what am I from Gondor? When I moved to the West, when I moved to the West Coast, my sounds so stupid. The Valinor from the West moved with Joe. So yeah, when I first moved to the West Coast, I was a summer camp counselor, and I had 4 kids that just played Magic all the time, no matter where we were. If we were at the lake, they were playing Magic. If we were doing like an overnight in the Redwood Forest, they were playing Magic. And uh, one day, their parents were picking them up, and one of them was like, "Hey, just wanted to check in on them." And they were like, "Oh, they're great." And they were like, "Is the magic a problem?" And I was like, "I mean, if it's not a problem for you, I don't care. I guess whatever. There's worse things for them to be doing." And they were like, "I tell you what, like they were all failing math, and then they started playing Magic. And now they get A's, so they get to play Magic whenever they want." So that's my one experience with Magic was my 4 indoor kids uh, at summer camp. But I really love the
Yeah,
lore and the characters. So stoked about that. Getting into it a little bit.
yeah, I don't have very much familiarity with Magic either, but when Ravnica came out, I was like, oh, I'm not really into Magic, so I didn't really look at it. And Theros came out, and I was like, well, I'm not really into Magic, but I do love Greek mythology. So I was like, I will read this book. And I was like, there is so much cool content in this book. Like, even if I don't run it as a Magic the Gathering thing, there's so much in here. And then it made me go look back at Ravnica and see, like, there's so many cool mechanics and things in this book that I missed out on. So Strixhaven is kind of the same thing where I'm like, I'm not familiar with this setting, but I know Ravnica and Theros were both amazing books. So I feel like this is also going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah. And look, I'm a sucker for a magic school, Harry Potter, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, whatever. I like me a magic, the magicians, whatever. Yeah. I like me a magic school. So excited about that. And then, I mean, the easy answer for Fizzbands is like, I mean, it's dragons, man. It's gonna be dope. But I'm really excited about like, I know they're promising mechanics for like dragons hordes and layers and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. About those specifics. Yeah. I will say one thing about me is I'm constantly like, man, I'm pretty creative and I don't need mechanics or outside ideas to make a cool dragon's horde. And then these books come out and I'm always like, my God, that's something I never thought of. So super stoked about that one as well.
It's the same thing. I've got a whole subplot that I'm working on for my home game, which is involving gem dragons. So I was already kind of planning to do it, but I hadn't really put in the work. And then they announced this book and I was like, yes, I don't have to do anything. They're here and I could just pull this and use it and create this subplot that I really wanted to explore. So I'm really hyped about that. It's going to be So many cool books.
All that said, though, Mellie, chips on the table. I'm going to say Strixhaven. You know what? I'm going to say Strixhaven because even if
Ooh.
you don't want to run a whole campaign in a magic school, like I think just all the resources that are going to be available for like here's what a wizard training academy will look like and the impact it'll have on your world and your game is super cool, super interesting. Because even if you're not into that aspect, like at some point, your party might have to go raid Wizard College, and that's going to be a thing. So super excited about that.
That's
Mellie, which
true.
one's going to be your favorite?
I have to go with the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I love the Feywild, and it's something that I wanted to do more adventures in. But I always kind of like hold back because there isn't as much like 5th edition content for it. And so this adventure, what we know about it so far, some of the previews we've gotten to see, I'm incredibly excited for it and like all of the options in it. And also, like you said, the option of every encounter in this having a possible route of success that isn't necessarily combat, because the people that I play with, those are the routes they tend to go with. So whenever I run a book adventure, I have to do a lot of improvising because they aren't going to fight things a lot of the time. So it's going to be pretty great to actually have
Yeah.
that as built into this book, and I don't have to improvise it as much. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited to see how that turns out.
you know, puzzles and riddles and traps and things like that are kind of a weakness of mine as a DM. So I'm also just excited to have like a little more support into, so I can really kind of step up my game there. So that's gonna be cool. I think we have time for like one more question, and then we'll get out of here.
One more question. Let me see here.
Big finish, Harvey Dent. No pressure.
Yeah, well, we have lots of questions that unfortunately like we don't have answers for, or questions again that are asking like ETAs for things, which we don't have ETAs for you all. It's not something that we do here. So hey, let's see. I mean, I got questions about my shirt. But I feel like that's not a great big finish.
I mean,
But
honestly, it's a dope shirt, and some advice as to where you got it and some guidance I think is equally helpful as anything we're going to talk about.
Well, yeah, we got asked about the gaming husbands. Hey, we know him. Is asking about the tragic backstory behind this epic shirt. And not the most tragic backstory. I feel like probably there's some story we could explore about these two halves of this shirt. Finding each other despite everything that was working against them. So maybe it's less tragic and more like this really romantic adventure that crossed oceans in order to bring these fabrics together and put them onto my back in Canada.
And look, I tell you what, Mellie, I vote that Gaming Husbands, who just seems so familiar for some reason, takes that backstory and turns it into an encounter that we provide for free on D&D Beyond.
Perfect.
The tale of the two shirts. Well, all right. Now that I've put some ridiculous work on the shoulders of Michael Galvis, I'm sure he's going to slack me with a lot of thanks here any minute.
He's already happy in the chat.
Already pumped. That's our show today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. Honestly, we really, really appreciate it. Hope you guys got stoked about everything we got to demo today. Next week we'll be getting into containers and inventory management a little more as we get closer to the release of that feature. And then beyond that, who knows, some cool stuff. So super excited about that. And as usual, if your response to this is, well, cool, it all looks great, I have no one to play D&D with, you are wrong, you are incorrect. Please go to our Discord, go to our forums. There's always people looking for games. You deserve to have that game of D&D. Look in the mirror today. Tell yourself that you deserve to have that game of D&D. Go join our Discord and find one. Super stoked to have you. And we will see you guys next time right here on the D&D Beyond Dev Update. Thanks, everybody.